idea, babe. Say, how about a... Ow!
Does that answer your question, buddy?
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Southern. You all remember Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's famous Maisie pictures. In just a moment, you'll hear Maisie in radio, starring the same glamorous star you all went to see and loved on the screen, Ann Southern. But first, your announcer. Here's Ann Southern as Maisie.
Yep, I'm Maisie, like the fella said, Maisie Revere, from Brooklyn. High dramatic Maisie, you might call me. Ever since I can remember, I've been shifting for myself. Originally, I'm from show business, but the last vehicle I was in closed after 5 performances. So I had to do something to live, and as luck would have it, I came across an ad in the paper that said, secretary wanted to assist author, little knowledge of typing and shorthand required. So I applied for the job. After all, I couldn't think of anybody who had a littler knowledge of typing and shorthand than me. Anyway, the professor agreed to try me out, and gosh, I'm so nervous. Today's my first day on the job, and I just gotta make good.
Miss Revere! Miss Revere! Come, we have some dictating to do.
Well, just a minute, Professor Elliot. I'm in the kitchen here washing your dishes.
Well, you've been in there an hour, Miss Revere. Aren't you finished washing those dishes yet?
No, but I'm up to last Thursday's breakfast, I think.
Never mind that for now, Miss Revere. We have a chapter on atrophication due to atomic radiation to dictate this morning. Do come out of the kitchen, please.
But Professor...
I insist. Drop what you're doing at once.
Okay.
Miss Revere, what was that?
I dropped what I was doing.
Oh, well, you needn't have taken me so literally. Now, you ready to take some dictation?
Yes, as soon as I...
Atrophication due to atomic radiation. Recent tests at Kwajalein and other Pacific islands have proved that humans and animals exposed to atomic bombings on microscopic examination have displayed unmistakable evidence of atrophy of the... Any question, Mr. Revere?
Well, just one, Professor.
Yes, what is it?
Do you have a pencil?
A pencil?
Well, it makes taking dictation much simpler, you know.
Yes, so the rumor goes. Yes. Secretaries oft-times bring pencils with them, Miss Revere.
I know, but gosh, I was so excited about this job, and when you're excited, you can't remember everything, you know.
How true. Well, here's a pencil, Miss Revere.
Thank you.
You ready now?
Shoot.
Don't tempt me. Now take this down. Atrophication due to atomic radiation. Recent tests at Kwajalein and other Pacific islands have proved that humans and animals exposed to atomic bombings on microscopic examination have displayed unmistakable evidence of atrophy of the limbs. Got that, Miss Revere?
Well, all except one thing, Professor.
Oh, what's that?
What came after atrophication?
Due to... Is that all you got, Miss Revere? Just the first word?
Well, it was a big one, and by the time I got through writing
Miss
it
Revere,
out...
you're supposed to be a secretary. Can't you write shorthand?
Well, of course.
Good. Now, let's start from the beginning.
Shorthand takes me longer.
It does, eh?
Uh.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
How true.
Take this down in longhand. I'll want 2 copies.
Oh, yes, Professor.
And the typewriter's over there.
Mm.
Now, let us continue. Atrophication due to atomic radiation. Have you got that, Miss Revere?
Yes. Atrophication due to atomic radiation. Now, wait, I'll get another sheet of paper. Atrophication due to...
Miss Revere, exactly what are you writing on the second sheet?
Well, the same thing as on the first. You said you wanted 2 copies.
Typewritten copies, Miss Revere. Typewritten.
Oh.
Now, wait a moment. You can type, can't you?
I think I'll go in and clean up those broken dishes now. They might bring ants, don't you think?
Miss Revere, Without a knowledge of shorthand and typing, how did you expect to hold a position as a secretary?
Well, you're going to hate me when I tell you this, Professor.
Probably.
But I didn't think there was any hurry about getting down what you dictate. According to the mail on your desk, the publishers don't seem to be in a hurry to publish your books.
They're fools, Miss Revere. Blind, unseeing fools. All they're interested in is cheap trash to feed love-starved souls.
Well, there are an awful lot of love-starved souls, Professor. That trash you're talking about brings a little sunshine into their lives.
I'm trying to bring light into their lives, too, Miss Revere. Make them see that unless civilization takes time out to examine the direction it's taking, there might soon not be a civilization to examine. Oh, sometimes I think maybe I'm insane trying to aid humanity. Sometimes I think it isn't worth saving.
Oh, but it is, Professor. And you mean you're trying to make this world a better place to live in?
Miss Revere, you were never a soldier, were you?
No. I don't think I could pass the physical.
Miss Revere, please, I'm serious. I was in the war. The war to end wars, the greatest war in the history of mankind. A very expensive war. $500 billion it cost.
Gosh, that much.
Yes.
That's an awful lot of money, Professor.
We complain about the high cost of living instead of the high cost of dying. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. You mean if we took that $500 billion and spent it on people instead of guns?
There'd be no reason for wars, nothing to fight about.
Gee, that's wonderful.
Well, I hope the publisher I sent the first few chapters to thinks so, Maisie. Oh, come in.
Good morning, Professor. I got some mail here for you.
Oh, thank you, Harry.
Okay.
Miss Revere, this is Harry, the elevator boy. Harry, Miss Revere.
Hello, Harry. I thank you.
That big envelope is from a publisher, Professor. Good news, I hope, at last.
Not good, huh?
He's returning my manuscript.
Oh, gosh, Professor, that's too bad. I had hoped that this one would sell. Manager's been getting mighty anxious about the rent, you know.
Well, tell him he'll get his money as soon as the professor's book is sold. What's it called, Professor?
Maisie, I'm calling it off.
You are? See, that's sort of a short title for a book. Don't you think so, Harry?
Oh, yeah, and it's easy to remember, too. Off by Professor Hillary Elliot.
I mean, I'm not going ahead with the book. I'm through with writing. Finished. Over.
Oh, but you can't do that, Professor.
Oh, Professor, you can't just chuck it now.
Oh, but I am. I'm going to make money. You hear me? Lots of it. And live in a decent place, not like this upholstered dust bowl.
But, Professor, success ain't measured by how much you got. It's what you got to give.
Well put, Miss Revere. Well put.
I thought so.
Yeah, but unfortunately, success nowadays is gauged in terms of intrinsic values.
Yeah, the professor is right, I think.
I mean in terms of worldly goods. Ha!
What's so funny?
I was just remembering that tomorrow is the anniversary of my entrance into the wide world. 10 years ago, I graduated from college. And my classmates chose me as the man most likely to succeed.
Well.
Yes. Harry, tell the manager I'll pay him somehow. I'm leaving tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight?
But what's the hurry? Can't you start starving to death next year?
No, I go tonight. Because tomorrow night I'm invited to an alumni dinner.
Oh. You don't like alumni. They don't taste good, maybe, huh?
Oh, they're delicious. But at that dinner, one person will be named top man of his class. That means the one who has accomplished the most since graduation.
Oh, and you're sad because you think it might not be you, huh?
Because I know it won't be me, and I can't blame them. Well, bye now. I'll be back for my thing.
Well, now, look, Doc, don't go now. Let's kick this thing around a little longer, say for a couple of years.
Yeah, sure, Doc. What's your hurry?
Because I'm expecting a fellow graduate to pop in on me today to inquire about my financial assets. I want to save myself the embarrassment of emptying out my pockets and showing it.
Oh, gosh, Miss Revere, the professor scrammed in such a hurry he ripped his coat on the doorknob. He's going to look even less successful now.
Harry, I've got an idea. The professor is discouraged about his work because he ain't had no recognition, right?
Right. And he's disgusted with himself because one of them alumnuses of his graduating class is going to find it out when he gets here.
Well, that's where you're wrong, chum.
You mean you got a plan to keep the doc from running away, Maisie?
Mm-hmm, that I have, Harry. When that man comes from the professor's college class to check on his financial position,
Yeah?
Doc Elliot's going to be the most successful guy he ever heard about.
You mean you're going to make him think the professor is rich?
Rich? Harry, when that guy gets a load of the professor's muscles, he's going to think he got him from carrying his money to the bank.
Here you are, sir. 4th floor.
Thank you, son. What's the number of Professor Elliot's apartment, please?
401, right across the hall, sir. Say, pardon me, you must be the one Maisie's expecting.
Maisie?
Yes, sir, Maisie Revere, the professor's secretary. She said to show you right into the joint when you arrived. This way, please.
Mm-hmm. Look, son, I don't know who this Maisie person is expecting, but I am from the Treasury Department.
Huh?
And I'm here to check on Professor Elliot's last tax report.
Oh, you're not from the college? I mean that aluminum stuff?
No, just that gold and silver stuff.
Gold? Gosh, you mean the professor owes the government money?
No. As a matter of fact, his report showed so little income, he has a refund coming to him, I believe. I'm just here to check further.
Oh.
Oh, hello, Harry. Sir, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, but I was busy fixing up my stockings. Cheap pair, you know. Every time I walk, they run. This the fellow, Harry?
I'd like to talk to you, Maisie.
I'll talk first, son. Bit of a hurry, you know. Miss Revere, my name is Hinchley. I'm here to ask a few questions about Professor Elliot's income.
Oh, I'm glad. Come in, Mr. Hinchley. I've got plenty to tell you.
Thank you.
But, Maisie, this man is here about money. He wants...
The professor to contribute something for charity. But I'm sorry, Mr. Hinchley. I don't think the professor can.
Oh, boy, that was close.
Well, you see, Mr. Hinchley, the professor has to stop sometime. Last year, he gave $1 million to charity.
Oh, my goodness.
Professor Elliot gave $1 million to charity?
Maisie, you're making a mistake.
Oh, yes, how silly of me. He didn't give $1 million at all.
No.
No, it was $2 million.
Oh.
Harry, Mr. Hinchley knows how many O's in $2 million.
Miss Revere, what you tell me is rather difficult to believe.
Yeah, ain't it? I mean, don't judge Professor Elliot's wealth by this scrubby apartment. All billionaires are eccentric, you know.
Billionaires?
Why I said what you tell me is hard to believe, Miss Revere, is because we understood Professor Elliot's income for last year to have been only $2,000.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
$2,000 a day.
Oh, fine.
You see, he doesn't pay taxes to the government. He just calls them up every year and asks them how much they need.
Maisie, the professor ain't gonna like this.
I know, but he's very modest about being filthy rich. But I think people should know how successful he is. Don't you, Mr. Hinchley?
Oh, yes, indeed. Miss Revere, there's one other person I'd like you to tell about Elliot's fabulous income. My superior.
Oh, you mean the head of the investigating committee?
Yes, you might call him that. And Mr. Jones.
Uh-huh.
He'll be around to check further on Diamond Jim's enormous wealth. Now, goodbye now, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Hinchley, and I hope you'll recommend that the professor gets everything he deserves.
I think you can count on that, Miss Revere. Yes. Well, good day.
Harry, what did he mean by that last remark?
That's sort of obvious, ain't it? Oh, you sure fixed the professor up good.
You mean you think they'll choose him? From now on, he'll be a somebody, a name?
No, a number.
Harry, I don't get it.
Maisie, I've been standing here trying to tell you all along that Hinchley ain't from the college aluminum committee. He's from the income tax department.
Income tax?
Sure.
Oh, my gosh. And he believes all those lies about the professor's income.
Yeah, he was here to refund dough on last year's tax. Now they'll probably send him to jail for defrauding the government with a false tax return.
Oh, Harry, I got the prof into this mess, and I'm going to get him out of it.
How?
Well, there's only one way to do it.
One way? What's that?
You got any ideas?
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Southern, will continue in just a moment. Back to Maisie.
Classes come to order now, gentlemen. Thank you. Fellow alumni, I'm pleased to announce the results of the votes to choose the most successful member of our good old class.
Hear, hear.
By unanimous agreement, the committee has decided upon Professor Hillary Elliot.
Chairman Jensen, I should like to congratulate the committee on our choice. Of course, others of our esteemed class have been more successful financially in the 10 years since graduation than our confrere, Dr. Elliot. But after all, there must be something more important than money.
Like what, Mr. Cabot?
That's a very good question. In the many years since I've known
I'll
Professor
answer that
Elliot...
question, Mr. Cabot. Humanity is more important than money, brother graduate.
Hear, hear.
And Dr. Elliot deserves the honor of being selected the most successful graduate of our class because of the many great works he has written to make this world a better place in which to live. Mr. Cabot.
Yes, Mr. Chairman?
I now appoint you as a committee of one to call upon Professor Elliot and we'll check on his financial status.
Financial status?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought money wasn't important.
True. But before we bestow this great honor on Dr. Elliot, we must ascertain whether he is, that he isn't,
Make sure that he ain't no bum.
Yes. We must make sure that the good doctor has some source of revenue.
Very well, Chairman Jensen. I'll check on Elliot and report back to the committee later in the day.
Hear, hear. I don't know about your plan, Maisie. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
But you know me, Harry.
Answer the question.
Okay, I'm sure.
Good.
Now, look. That man from the tax department said his superior was coming back for further details. And we've got to make sure he gets the impression that I made a mistake and that the doc is broke.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
That's the superior now. Now, Harry, remember, we got to make him believe that the professor hasn't got a pot.
Yes?
Oh, never mind. Come in.
Good afternoon. I'm looking for Professor Elliot.
What for, Bob?
Well, I was sent here to check on his financial condition.
Ah. That bum owe you dough, too?
Bum? I was under the impression that Professor Elliot was doing fairly well financially.
Fairly well? You hear that, Harry?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That guy ain't got a dime.
Nah, when he goes to the park, they change the signs from do not walk on the grass to do not eat the grass.
But this office of his...
Oh, it's all going back to the finance company. They sent me here to take back the stuff, Bub.
Sure, he hasn't made a payment on it for 8 months.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
How about 6 months, then?
I was led to believe...
Look, the poor professor can't make both ends meet.
He can't even make one end meet.
No,
I thought...
poor Professor Elliot spends all his time in the park by the lake.
Oh, but
and
I'm
watching the kids throw stale bread to the ducks.
Yeah, it's a good thing he can outswim the ducks, or else he'd starve.
Oh, I've heard enough.
Thank goodness.
Poor chap. This certainly changes everything as far as Professor Elliot is concerned. Good day. I have to make my report. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
The same to you, senor.
Oh, I'm terribly. Pardon me, sir. I didn't see you coming. Sam Cabot, of all people.
Oh, hello, Elliot.
I'm glad I ran into you, Sam. Say, how about a cup of coffee?
Oh, sure, Elliot. For a fellow classmate, anything. Here's a dime.
What is this?
Oh, you needn't be so proud with me, Elliot. I know.
Know what?
About how broke and hungry you are. Too bad, too. Now I'm afraid your election as most successful man of our class is out.
You mean you were going to choose me?
Yes, on your literary achievements. But when that girl in your office told me that you were, a pauper, well, you know how it is.
No, but I'm going to find out.
Oh, hello, Professor. What's the matter? You look like you just lost your best friend.
No, Miss Revere, but you're close. I only lost the honor of being elected the most successful man of my class. Miss Revere, why did you do it?
Do what?
My dear young lady, I wasn't born yesterday.
Well, of course not. You couldn't have grown so much in one day.
Why did you tell that man that I was a pauper?
Oh, you mean the investigator?
Yes, for the Alumni Award Committee.
Alumni Award Committee? Oh, gosh. I thought he was from...
From where?
I refuse to answer that until I talk to my lawyer.
Miss Revere, I'm expecting an answer. What is this all about?
I'm afraid to tell you, Professor. But I will when you're alone.
I'm alone now.
No, you're not. I'm with you. Have you got everything set, Harry?
Yeah, I sure have, Maisie.
All right.
I fixed up a dozen telegrams congratulating Professor Elliot on the great books on peace that he wrote.
Okay.
I got them from Yale, Harvard, Princeton, William and Mary.
William and Mary who?
That's a college, Maisie.
Oh, yes, of course. I wanted to make sure that you knew.
Maisie, I still don't understand how you persuaded that Mr. Jensen to come here.
Oh, it was easy. I just got down on my knees and begged him.
Oh, you're wonderful, Maisie. He wouldn't come when I tried that.
Well, naturally. You don't have my knees. Come in.
Oh, good evening, Miss Revere. I'm here as you wished.
Oh, do come in, Mr. Jensen.
Miss Revere, you had some proof to show me of Professor Elliot's importance in the sciences.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman. Here, take a chair.
Thank you.
And read these telegrams.
Very impressive.
Well, naturally. They were written by great brains.
Gee, thanks.
Shh, Harry. This one here, Mr. Jensen, was sent to the professor by the principal of Harvard, congratulating him on his work in splitting the atom.
Dr. Elliot split the atom?
Well, not exactly. He just cracked it a little.
Yeah, and after that, even a kid could split it.
With a toy hammer, I imagine.
Well, I'm back. I've got my ticket and everything. Jensen, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, he was just leaving, aren't you, Mr. Jensen, please?
No, I do believe I'll stay a while and read these other telegrams of congratulations.
Oh, but I'm leaving. I've got a dog to feed.
No, you don't, Harry Talbot. You don't have a dog.
I'll buy one and then feed it.
Miss Revere, what's this telegram thing all about?
Well, Professor Elliot, I cannot tell a lie.
You can't?
No, but I'm going to try. Professor Elliot, you're not going to believe this, but you've suddenly become quite famous.
Quite, Elliot. According to these telegrams, you are the idol of such chaps as Georgie Berney Shaw.
Who?
King Gustav of Sweden.
Oh.
A half-dozen college presidents. And Willie Shakespeare.
Shakespeare? He's dead and buried.
Tell him to move over. I'm going to be joining him. Look, Professor...
Now, you look, Miss Revere. Haven't you made enough of a...
Jerk?
Yes. Thanks. Oh, Maisie, you made enough of a fool of me without using telegrams from stooges to make it any worse.
But, Professor, all I wanted to do was... Come in. Professor Elliot, I know I'm not smart like you,
Oh.
but...
Pardon me. My name is Jones. I'm looking for Professor Hilary Elliot.
I'm Elliot.
Good. I am head of the Income Tax Department.
Oh, another stooge. Maisie, tell him the game is over. I don't want to play.
Well, look, Doc, I have a confession
The
to
doc
make.
has the confession when he intends to pay the $1 million he owes for last year's income tax.
Well, Elliot, this is interesting. $1 million tax.
Oh, that's silly. I don't owe $1 million.
No.
No, I owe $2 million. Or is it 3? Let's not be pikers.
Professor, shut up, will you? Visiting days are only once a week.
Now, look, Mr. Jones, you can drop your masquerade right now.
You'd better come with me, Professor Elliot. J. Edgar Hoover wants to meet you.
Go away, funny man, before I lose my temper.
Professor, will you listen to me?
No!
Elliot, for the last time, come along. I wouldn't want to use force.
Why not? I'm in the mood for it.
Well, you
Keep away
asked
from me,
for it.
stooge. I'm warning you.
Professor! Oh!
Miss Revere.
I couldn't help it. She got in the way.
Maisie. Maisie, are you all right? Speak to me. Say something.
Elliot, this wouldn't have happened if you hadn't lost your temper. I checked on this whole farce this afternoon. Miss Revere was merely trying to rectify the false impression she gave to the tax department.
What false impression?
Well, Mr. Jones, Professor Elliot neither earned a fortune last year, as you were led to believe, nor is he the pauper our alumni committee thought he was.
Gosh. And Maisie was just trying to...
Looks like it, Doc. She stuck her chin out for you plenty.
Yes. Poor child. Lying there so pale. So still.
So beautiful.
Maisie. Maisie, open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to me just once.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never give up my work. I'll turn out all the books you want me to.
Well, you put that in writing, Professor, and you've got a deal.
In just a moment, we shall return to the adventures of Maisie. Once again, here's Maisie.
Well, I couldn't blame the professor for being mad. He had a perfect right. Gosh, my chin feels sore. That tax man had a perfect right, too. Well, it was worth it, though. Giving the professor the courage to carry on and help give this world a chance to at least break even with itself. You know, it's a funny thing. Just a few short years ago, all the civilized people in the world were fighting, and the cannibals were at peace. Makes you think a little, don't it? Well, I gotta get back to my room. I got some unfinished worrying to do.
You have just heard The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Southern. Maisie was written by Arthur Phillips. Original music was composed and conducted by Harry Zimmerman. Supporting cast included Gerald Moore, Howard McNear, Peter Leeds, Donald Wood, Junius Matthews, and Sidney Miller. Jack McCoy speaking.